Okay, guys. So, today we're doing avalir 2 versus G6 versus G5. So, my babysitter I'm taking off my headphones. So, my babysitter, her Kirby's in crap condition. So, what I'm doing is, I'm taking this Kirby, which you've seen once. I've polished it up. I've also polished up the G6, which you guys don't know about yet. So, yeah. This guy I've had for about a week or two. I haven't uploaded in a while. And up and coming Kirby content, I will show you guys my disassembly and rebuild process. My mother will be recording, so if the audio is muffled a bit, it's from her holding her hand over the thing. Now, you know how I was saying how it was ridiculous that my friend Lisa, my mother's friend Lisa, lost her Kirby's neutral and drive pedal? It isn't so ridiculous anymore. That's from this guy. It was super loose, and it turns out, so my mom was correct when she said that a kid probably pulled the part out and pocketed it. Because I said, you know what, Mom, I could probably just, one second, I could probably just go, and I did, and it actually came out. That's how it came out, so it's permanently in drive. Now, let's see, pros and cons of each. So, the G6 and the G5, from the factory, they have a brush roller like this. This brush roller, believe it or not, is actually a factory brush roller for a G4. Want to know how I know? See that? Someone got this brush roller used, and the light was coming on while it was doing that. That means that it came from a vacuum cleaner, the generation of the light being on that side. So I figured that out. Now, that's the cons of them. And the cons of the G5 are non-matching neutral and drive pedals. I have them all engaged for the up-and-coming test. Now, cons are heavily stacked on the G5. Because the G5 has the big mTOR, and that's a huge con. This guy has almost no mTORs. It's the mini mTOR, so yeah, this one has almost none at all, but it's there. So this guy's got least airflow, mediumest airflow. Sorry, I'm holding the camera weird. I messed up my right arm yesterday trying to start and adjust a weed eater. So it's pretty messed up. Right there is what hurts the most. But I can manage. These Kirby's aren't very heavy to me anymore. It's just my arm hurts. So, yeah. That one's got the advantage of LED lights. Now, its main disadvantage, in my opinion anyways, is its transmission gearing. Sure, it's silent, like, no noise. But I keep hearing talking. So, yeah, this one has a disadvantage of slower gear ratio. It's also got a higher efficiency motor, meaning it runs faster. That started at the Centria age. And this thing, it runs way faster, and that leads into a brief tangent. There are people with their Kirby's, they're getting the bagless thing, and because it's pulling up carpet fibers, they think it's dirt. And the reason, why would it pull up carpet fibers all of a sudden? Because those itty bitty filters are restricting the airflow, making it dig into the carpet even more. So that's the disadvantage of that. Now, the advantage of Kirby's compared to Sanitaires are their fans rotate vertically instead of horizontally. So they may have to fight a bit of gravity, but that means that dirt isn't constantly spinning around chipping the fan. That's my dog if you hear that rattling. Oh gosh, I'm getting chills for some reason. And yeah, bags, they're getting thinner. This one has the thickest bag. It's got the best filtration, but with these Kirby's, you're supposed to put in paper bags. This one's got a thinner bag, so it's got the worst filtration. It was also made in the paper bag days. This one's got an extremely thin bag, but it can only take HEPA bags. That's an advantage there. So, these two are a disadvantage when it comes to the belt lifter. Their belt lifter, it's right here. It makes it seem weaker, makes people not want to buy it. And yeah, this one, it's pretty chunky right here, meaning it's harder to rotate, but it'll last you a lifetime. Oh yeah, another advantage. You don't have to break the sticker in order to get access to the screw. I'm hearing whining now. So, with that said, I'm becoming more and more unstable. Let's get to the tests. Whoopsie daisy. You can see my shirt is red. And you know what it says? It says, my damn t-shirt. Let's get some lighting here. Oh, it's my mom. It's my mom and my doggo. I'll be back in a second. Some hugs later. She's a massage therapist. She's got to be extremely careful this time, right now. So the voices are no longer there. That's a surprise. No longer hearing those weird whispers. Now, and the whispers, they weren't from my dog. My dog was just vibing, and he doesn't make weird whisper noises. He howls. Oh gosh, that's what's giving me the chills. That thing. Boy, are its eyes cold. Oh well. Can't fault it or anything. Now, let's compare the avalir. Need to grease the brush roll bearings. G6. We'll do this bad boy next. It's got the 50-foot cord, so it's got a bit less power. I need to move out. Okay, after I test this, I want to tell you a funny story I figured out. It's about the previous house I was recording in before this one. Oh yeah, with this Kirby specifically, you will notice it has almost no transmission line, but exactly the same amount of assist as this one. And way more than that one. An easier switch though. Okay, so if you're wondering how I achieved that amount of transmission quietness, there is a gear that connects the motor to the transmission. And behind that gear, there is a bearing. What I did is I packed that bearing completely full of grease. That made it silent. I don't know how it works. Yeah. So, the story I meant to tell you about. So, there is, in my old house, there were two strange cone-shaped springs. They were like this big. I was like, my freaking god, what could these belong to? There was nothing we had that they could belong to, at least so I thought. And I knew for a fact it wasn't a Kirby. And it wasn't my Kirby, to be sure. So, I opened up this Kirby's transmission just because I wanted to know how they worked. Because that Kirby, with how much work I've done on it, its warranty was far, far beyond void. Now, what I did was I opened it up. I found two springs. After I finished greasing the bearings in there, and I wanted to grease, closed it back up, gave it a test run. It's fine. I thought that I had accidentally got some grease on the clutch. I was wrong. I did get grease on the clutch. That didn't do anything to change how it moved for some reason. And then 2 days later, I realized, oh my god, that has literally the exact same freaking spring, and it has two of them. And the springs, they looked exactly the same. So you know what that means. The previous tenants at the apartment I used to live, my family used to live in, why am I saying I as I'm an adult, they opened up their Kirby transmission, completely voiding the warranty. And lo and behold, those two springs were from a Kirby. That Kirby's long gone by now, because if they couldn't figure it out, of course it's dead. And I never repaired Lisa's Kirby in that house. So, I was like, well, I don't know. So, it must not have been the previous tenants. Maybe the tenants were even before that. But either way, the previous tenants to the apartment I lived in owned a Kirby, and they disassembled it, not knowing how to put it back together. Yeah. Isn't that just ridiculous? Okay. So, yeah. Also, up and coming Kirby content, how I do a complete teardown and refurbishment. Now, I guess, zooming out, there isn't much left to share about this thing. I don't have a bearing puller, and I don't have 608ZZ bearings to replace the rear ones. I also don't have the proper bearing puller. So, I'm stuck just greasing front bearings for now. Nope, that said, I am going to see you later.